All right, welcome back, Weather Kingdom. I hope everybody's doing great on this lovely Sunday morning here. We are back. We got some things to talk about. We got a nor'easter on the way, and we got some things we need to take a look at. All right, welcome. We are going to be here. We're going to be watching this storm on this live stream. We got some things to look at here, you guys. We got a very, very strong hurricane, snowicane, aka blizzard, taking up here. We got our beginning looks of a low pressure back in here. This is definitely the beginning of something big. You can already start seeing some of the developments out of this here. So you already got some of these precip bands trying to make it on shore here. You got a little bit of that low pressure drop already getting into the coastal areas of New Jersey, right? But we haven't seen the major development of this just yet, okay? We do have, once again, our low pressure right here. You can see it's definitely starting to form here because we're starting to see some winds come out of this direction, and then we could kind of see the low levels like this. So this is what the low levels are doing, and then slowly but surely they're starting to rotate around this low pressure. I do expect that to intensify quite rapidly here in the next coming hours. That will really develop a monster blizzard in this area here, and an absolute nuke of a blizzard across the East Coast here. This is the current satellite and imagery of this blizzard, okay? I've been looking at some of the observations, I've been looking at some of the data, and this is the current thinking of the radar. And yes, it is raining in some spots. If you go into, Allentown or north of that, you are talking about some snow, some wet snow, some steady, light wet snow. And then you can kind of see that it is raining back down in here, and then some heavy rain back into the Delaware Valley just south of Dover. This is the beginning of the developing storm right in here. You can definitely see our low pressure starting because you got your bands starting to rotate around this nor'easter. I do expect this to continue to intensify quite rapidly, and depending on everything, I think we are going to be talking about some significant snow rates tonight, especially in some of these really, really dark blues that's going to develop in the nighttime, okay? We can see some heavier snow starting to break out in central and western Pennsylvania. That's a really good obs. But look at this storm in general. Really starting to get that nor'easter look already. This is going to really ride and then kind of go out like that. Or, something more like this. And then kind of ride like that. All right. That's going to be a very intense storm that's going to be taking place. This is by, this is current radar here, okay? When we take a look at the precip, the rates here as of this moment here. All right, let me get back in here. There is some lighter precip back in western Pennsylvania, even some moderate precip going on, some snow, and then down here even some near heavier rains developing down in the Delaware. This is all going to keep forming along the coastal areas here. We could kind of see in the current radar, this is our low kind of taking in place here. You could kind of see where the eye of the storm is going to be. It just got off the coast, everybody, okay? Just got off the coast, and you can kind of see where it's really going to be developing. It's going to be really trying to rapidly intensify here, okay? I think that's going to be a very good thing. This is snow, by the way, some of it, but it's some very interesting stuff that I would like to keep an eye on. I have some other things here too that I think is going to be very important. So just give me a second. Okay, let me quickly. So when we take a look at the Twitter, I just want to show you guys some of the obs here that's taking place in the satellite. So let me just. Yeah, so pieces are coming together for the blizzard. I was just looking at something else I really want to. I want to see if I can find it. I don't think I. There was some obs that I wanted to show you guys, but I don't see them planning out here, so that kind of stinks here. I need the obs. Okay. Yeah, so here's this, you guys. 970 sub, Arctic Eye, it's gonna blow. This is the storm. Look at that. Wind and rain. This is the heights here. This is another one. The setup that's only like convergent snow rates along the area, which will happen near pivot point deformation likely. They're believing in that scenario. There's some other people that are believing in 12 to 18 inches here, and then 24 to 36 back in here, and then 18 to 24. This is that blizzard condition here. Temps right now in the upper 30s. That was a little bit earlier. Light rain starting to fall. No snow expected till later. I think that's going to continue to. Things are going to continue to be crippled here as the storm continues to intensify. Notice, this is a good one here, 4 hours ago. Notice how incredibly the influence our lakes became. This New Orleans trough, half of 3/4 of the storm event, many north and west of the low track just looks northward extension, moisture transport, then otherwise that would not be there. All the fringe pieces doing its work right now. The fringes of the trough, I really agree with that. This is that snowfall that they were predicting from the National Weather Service. Get out while you can, yes. Air traffic, no good later. This one might catch a few off guard. Greetings. Nice to see you. I hope we're doing well today. See, look. This is another thing here. I am skeptical about the highest totals being further east into Rhode Island and southeast Mass. The lows already vertically stack off the Delmarva. Your best frontal genesis temp divergence come during the New Jersey and New York City metro area. So see, some of the obs from the models, people are saying it looks like it's gonna, that little east trend kind of became more of a west. Snowing now, already small coating up in northern New York there. All right. We're just kind of going over some of the stuff here. This is another one. The early seeds of our storm getting planted still has a little bit of a positive, but it will swing negative on the approach of the jet. We already kind of knew about that. True starting line here is down here. So snow aloft up here. This is where our true blizzard that's going to be developing. 22 inches. To think the upper levels are not even developed, let alone mature, and we have a powerful storm at surface. Snowfall aloft means it's only a matter of time in the next 3 to 5 hours before that reaches the surface and expands like a runway, from rain to snow from overhead. For New England, and a true start line of this presses into the Carolinas. True start line here. So that's something to keep an eye out on. It's to the south. Sometimes forecasts can be simpler without a ton of noise. Just north of the vortex is where the heavy snow global high res sees that. So especially into there. Okay. When we take a look at the current radar here, I just want to keep this on here. This is that current radar that's taking in place here. This is that 1 hour view, and this is our blizzard. It looks a little bit different. I'm not even going to lie with you guys. Some little bit of differences are starting to show. Looks like maybe we have a little bit of a westward jog, an eastward jog. I'm not really buying it just yet. The herd model still says, yeah, you're still going to be thumping snow. But look at this. Your model data here. It still wants to print a lot of snow. I think this is very likely still. I think a lot more than this. I'm really looking more at the radar and current analysis, because that's really going to depend on if this storm is going to continue to move into these areas here. Kind of watching everything play out. Alright, we're kind of watching this here. This is that snow potential. Look at that. Boom. Give me 1 second. Alright, so it's not completely sticking just yet. It's not ready to stick just yet, so I'm really keeping an eye on that. Current temperatures are around 33 degrees. This is another thing with the temperatures. We kind of have to let the temperatures cool down again, because when we take a look at the current the radar here, I want to go back into here and I want to show you guys the temperatures. Look at this. This is where we're at right now. All right, this is kind of, let me quickly go into this. That storm is definitely starting to wake up. So this was at 1. So this is expected at 1 o'clock. You can see our temperature slowly but surely starting to drop here. Okay. And then this is by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Especially as you get later in the night. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And you are talking about in the 20s. And you're talking about some rapid snow accumulations here to take place. Quicker that temperature drops, the quicker we can get some major accumulations. It is a little bit interesting from before to now what this is going to be looking like. All right, we're really watching this. I'm kind of watching this. I want to see current analysis. Give me 1 second. I want to look up something here. Any questions? Anyone? Feel free to ask them away. Also, another thing is going to be the winds. I want to keep that in mind here too. We're going to be talking about some pretty nasty winds. All right, let me go into the wind speed. This is wind speed, you guys, right now. So this is the wind speed that's being planted as we see. So Fox 5, New York City is predicting 18 to 24 inches, 30 plus in central New Jersey. Yeah, it's possible for that. It really is. This is that wind starting to take place here. We're really starting to see that wind beginning, that wind speed. And then this is by 12 o'clock. You can see those winds continue to intensify. This is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4. And look at that. You're already starting to get some blizzard conditions. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You're really starting to rip those winds around and those wind gusts. When we take a look at the wind gust here, look at that. Some intense winds that's going to be taking place all in New Jersey, into Pennsylvania, and in these areas like that. And then we can really see those winds continue to intensify before they finally start to exit off after the storm. Some very good thinking here. I do believe temperatures right now is holding pretty well here. So look at the temperatures here. This is by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 5 o'clock. It definitely starts to drop. I just checked. The same news is predicting 4 inches an hour. Yeah. Some very intense snowfall rates that's going to be taking in place here. Death band on 14Z. Very concerning. Look at that. This is a death band. This is pretty concerning here. Yeah, so extremely heavy snow, 3 to 5 an hour. We'll have to see where that death band sets up. And then this is your thunder, your lightning flashes too, in the death band. Keep that in mind. Yeah, see what I mean? People were talking about how the short range HRRR is showing a trend towards mixing down the Cape May with storm tucking as closer it gets captured by the mid-level trough. That's another thing, you guys. Shh. Alright, so I'm back here. I'm sorry about the waiting here. If it's 3 to 5 inches an hour, does that mean it could even be more snow than easily 30? But if 3 to 5 inches hours isn't, yeah, it's maybe like 5 or if, yep, about that, yep. Some interesting data. This is going to be some interesting. I want to see how this death band really sets up. Look at this by 5 o'clock. We are cooking on by 5 o'clock. We got a real blizzard really starting to shape up. We got death bands starting to show up. And then overnight, definitely. Look at that. Full-blown blizzard really starting to take place here by the end. I'm very interested because look at this, you guys. Some of these totals are getting shaped up here. Even by the 10 here, about almost 20 inches of snow. And then in the Courage has almost up to 2 feet of snow in central New Jersey. Those are going to be some intense rates. That's all I can say. We'll have to just wait and see. Wow. Some of those bannings. Wow. Some of those bandings that's going to be taking shape here. I think Tuesday. I really wonder. So this is something very interesting. 38 minutes ago, similar to part one of the deformation band, this is one of the most impressive 700 volt signatures I've ever seen in my life tracking snowstorms. Look at that deformation band. Am I dreaming? Am I Matrix? Someone please confirm if I'm living. Look at this. First flakes are on the way in New York City. That's very important. I think that deformation band will set up. I'm just really wondering how this is all going to play in the loop here. According to radar, things are going to get pretty interested here. Very interesting stuff. The official name of the winter storm is Hirondo. Interesting. I want to keep eyeing this over here. Yeah, look at that, you guys. Look at that precip down here. This is what we're talking about, deformation bands. Some of the snow rates could be as much as this here. Some true snowfall bands as we get later. This stuff is going to all make it in New Jersey. So keep an eye out on that. That's a very big concerning here. But radar is definitely picking up on some good bandings, especially south of PA right now. Starting to pick it up, even into southern Pennsylvania. It's trying to get some more heavier bands. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Here's the deal. Everything I said will happen at this point. 10 a.m. has happened expected. The big question is whether if the low center takes the path to the left or to the path to the Cape Hatteras. The left puts 12 to 20, and the right path puts 0 to 2 in northeastern PA. Likely to see some thunder snow highlighted in the coastal regions here. Pretty cool. It's down to 1,006 millibars now. That was a little bit ago, though. That was a little bit ago. Yep, it has begun. Some snow, some rain, all the fun. Yeah, people are really talking about this moisture down here. As the colder air comes in, this moisture is going to become a monster of cold here. That is for sure an understatement that I'm really keeping an eye on. That's pretty crazy, the stuff I'm seeing here. Watching radar. All right, so I am back. Heritage, Delaware, changing to all snow. All right, I want to know where that is at currently. You said Delaware, right? Is that right now? Is that right now or no? Because right now it's some pretty steady rain for you. I just want to know. What's going on there right now in Harrison? Because Harrison is in this heavier precip here. I wonder if we're about to start seeing some Let me look at some Delaware live cams. See if I can get it up on the stream here.
Your next breakdown could...
I want to know what's going on down in here in Delaware, because I am starting to notice some summer cold air is starting to make its way in. I do believe, because the precip is starting to change in some senses, in some spots on the northern side. Yeah, you might start be changing. You're at 37 down there, but temperatures are starting to drop rapidly here. So I'm just going to tell you guys here, if you guys are in Delaware, be careful. We're about to have a huge thumping of snow in the next hour or two. Temperatures are beginning to drop here in the temperature profile. I'm starting to notice in the last hour, temperatures are starting to drop in Delaware and New Jersey down here first. Interesting. The transition here, central New Jersey, it's snowing. Central New Jersey's all right. I think you guys are already starting to transition the snow. This is by like 1 o'clock. Just give me 1 second. This is by 1 o'clock. We really start to see some of that heavier precip change over. This by 2 o'clock. Probably about like 3 or 4 o'clock. Everything has changed over. And then definitely by 5, we got a raging blizzard really taking in place here. So as the hours go on, I do think things are going to continue to intensify and worsen across the region. That temperature's dropping dramatically. So some interesting stuff there. I think I'm going to be ending the stream for now. I think I'm actually going to go out and go drive in this and kind of get like a coffee or something and then kind of go back to